Hello, Madonna.
Hi, Kaitlyn.
Okay, so today we're talking about the disconnect between the technology that students are using at home and the technology that students are given access to in school. So where do you see a disconnect, or do you see a disconnect?
I think where I saw the disconnect is the technology, basically both sides. It's certain times it like in the school, and certain times it like in the house because maybe parents don't have the money to provide it, or they don't have the means to get it, and then maybe they don't even know how to get it.
Right.
So sometimes when they go back to school, it's not available because there is no funding in certain schools to cover that.
Right. And I think sometimes, kids have access to social media and Instagram and Twitter and all those things. And so maybe they're a little bit more tech savvy, where then they get into schools and they're being given textbooks and worksheets.
Right.
And they're so used to doing everything online. And honestly, in the future, everything's going to be online anyway.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, what are we preparing them for when we're not allowing them to use the skills that they're already honing at home? And to your point, in schools when we're giving kids iPads and laptops and things like that, and explaining to them how to use things, or expecting that they're going to use those skills to, write papers and make portfolios and things like that, but then they don't have access to it at home.
Right.
How do we get them to be on both sides of that?
Both sides, right.
Yeah.
So I think that's where the disconnect is.
Okay, and so how could we make that better, do you think? Like, how could we bridge that?
I think we have to, like, the school have to be more technology-wise. So whatever they're gaining in school, because they're spending more time in school, when they get home, they can practice whatever they have from the school to the house. They can transfer that over.
And I think too, like when I was in high school, we had teachers who had their own Twitter accounts, and they would post the homework on their Twitter or things like that, and it would talk to students. Like if we had a concern, you could always tweet your teacher and ask them, what's going on in class, and they would help you out. So I think that teachers who take advantage of those platforms that students are already using, it's a really smart move, and it's really going to help bridge what's going on at home and what's going on at school.
Right.
And I think too, if we make it more accessible, where kids can take laptops home and they can assign them out just like a library book. That way, you can get all your work done.
Right. That's true.
Yeah. So I think there's a lot of opportunity to kind of bridge those gaps, but it's just kind of about finding systems and finding ways and finding funding.
Right.
And we need to make the funding more equal so that everybody has the same access. To the same things.
I think that's what we need to do.
Great.
Because if they have good funding, then the schools maybe can be able to afford whatever is lacking, or whatever other schools have. Because there are other schools that have computers that they take home. For kids.
And we want to make sure all of our kids are on the same level.
Same level, right.
Awesome, great.
Thank you.
Thank you.